RPI kicker Andrew Franks in studio with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team. Andrew, thanks for swinging by today, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, because not only are you, trying to get into the NFL, no big deal, you're also taking classes this semester at RPI too, right?
Yes, sir. Trying to get my biomedical engineering degree as well as play in the NFL.
You can't. You're going to be the smartest guy on the field.
I hope so.
That's the plan, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, that was the original idea. Now, you're a Cali guy, but you came to RPI because you were able to play football and do the school thing. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. This was one of the few places that let me go and get my degree as well as play football. And for me, I lived in the same small town my whole life, and I wanted a new adventure. So, upstate New York seemed like the right place to go.
And then the winter happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I realized I made a terrible mistake.
Hey, man, you're talking to Texas guys, so I hear you in that. And the last two winters, too, man. Nobody could have prepared me for this.
Yeah, no, that was awful, absolutely awful. The first one wasn't bad. It was nice and mellow, nice warm-up, and then these past two have just been absolutely awful.
Andrew Franks, RPI kicker in studio with Armen and Levack, a two-time Liberty League Special Teams Player of the Year, All-American this past season. And what's the longest kick that you've ever made? Okay, longest kick in practice, longest kick in a game?
Longest kick in a game's 58 in a scrimmage. In an actual league game was 54 against Hobart. In practice by myself was 72.
Wind at your back or no?
Maybe a little breeze. I'll give it that, a little breeze.
Put a couple fans out behind you. The whole night,
just a few.
You ever go dude perfect and try to trick it up and see how difficult you can make kicks?
Not really. That's not really my thing. I just want to make sure it goes in. I don't need it to look pretty. It just has to go in.
That's my motto to life.
There you go.
I don't need it to look pretty. Now, who have you met with so far? I mean, we couple NFL teams already looking at you. Who have you met with?
I met with a good amount of scouts over the season. Recently at my pro day, Colts, or not the Colts, the Bills, Raiders, and Chargers were all there. And most recently, the Indianapolis Colts special teams coordinator was here yesterday working me out. And then I'm also working out with the Dolphins next week.
Yeah, it's having a pro day at RPI, man. What a cool experience that is for you to bring that to the school. And it's funny because I went to Texas Tech University, and, Michael Crabtree was there one time, and they had All-Americans go through there just like you were. And those guys would say, I enjoyed it because it's bringing scouts not just to me, but to the teammates. Is that kind of the vibe and that it's been, at RPI?
Definitely. I think we're trying to get RPI back on the map, as a competitive team. And the fact that scouts are coming to our place to go look at players at a high level, high caliber players I think is huge for us. So just the fact that they're coming to a small school like us is really important.
I'm still fascinated by the degree that you're going to be as smart as you are. You realize that there's going to be guys out there who majored in basket weaving trying to kill you.
Yeah, well, they can weave baskets better than I can. I'll give them that. Now,
speaking of trying to kill you, you're a kicker that likes to tackle. I mean, you have absolutely knocked some guys out in games before, man. What's your mindset? Because look, kicker guy, you don't have to be as hardcore in the weight room as you are. I mean, you spend a lot of time in the weight room.
Yeah, I know. I love the weight room. When I first came to school, that was one of the biggest things as a weakness. I had some strong legs, but overall, as a overall person, upper body wise, I had nothing. I was weak. I was totally weak, so I realized I had to work out everything, be more balanced as a player. And I played outside linebacker, safety, everything under the sun in high school, so I still have a little chip on my shoulder now.
Levack, look at this guy. He does not look like a kicker.
No, he's jacked up.
He is ripped,
well,
man.
That's why I'm one of the funnier things is, so the Raiders come to your pro day. You could be the heir apparent to the biggest and probably most out-of-shape kicker in the history of the league, and Sebastian Janikowski. Have you thought about what the difference you would bring to that?
Yeah, I want to make him look a little bigger than he is. I like that comparison. I like that comparison.
And I don't know if it's possible, but I think you make him look even dumber too, because he's one of the biggest dumbasses in the history of the NFL. And Andrew Franks comes in, one of the smartest kickers the NFL has ever seen.
Now he's just being hurtful.
RPI kicker Andrew Franks with Armen and Levack on 104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. All right, so what's been the moment in these tryouts where you're like, holy smokes, this is kind of cool, man. I'm digging this. This is pretty neat. I'm this close to my goal.
It's probably the night before. Honestly, I sort of realized, wow, I got a lot of these teams coming to see me, just me, and I think that's pretty crazy. But, during the day when I have to go warm up, get ready for it, it's really just me doing my own thing. It's just me doing a normal workout that I always do every couple times a week. So it's really nothing different when I'm on the field. It's really more the night before, just mentally prepared.
You say that, and I've seen interviews with you. That's true, though. I mean, you see, Levack, I'm not that mentally strong. I can't we do a show 100 times, right? But if we have a Boy Scout troop in here, it's a little different because we have a Boy Scout troop in here. Like we have an audience.
Right, you have to swear less.
Yeah, that's part of it. I wasn't necessarily going there, but that is accurate. But mentally, man, that would play games with me. But you just block it out. You just act like it's another day.
It's a job for me. It's a job. It's a job interview, and I think of it the same way. I got to mentally prepare beforehand, so I'm ready for it the day before. And I think that's huge for me, that mentally preparing is just as important as physically preparing.
Well, because you're out there on an island, as the kicker, you're out there on an island. Everybody stops and stares at you. It's not, it's not like, all right, is it going to go to the running back? Is it going to go to the wide receiver? It's you, your foot, and a big old distance.
Exactly. And, you have a ton of time in between kicks, so it's a lot of time to think and usually just get in your own head, and that's the worst thing for a kicker. Once you kick the ball, you're done. You just got to stop thinking and turn it all off. That's huge to get that through your head.
They want to change the extra point. We were hearing more and more. They're going to move it back. They're going to do this to it. If you had to say, as you're coming in, as the guy who's going to hopefully be the one kicking those extra points, what would you do to change the extra point?
I'd prefer to keep the goalposts the same width, but I don't really mind moving it back. I've always been a long field goal kicker myself, so I don't think that's really a big deal. If you can kick the ball straight, you can kick it straight, regardless if it's a PAT or a 40-yard field goal. So, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter where you are.
Do you like the idea of it being a live ball, like the defense could return it, because then you get to tackle somebody?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, it doesn't happen very often, obviously, but I think that's a pretty cool rule, and it makes sure that, even if you're doing field goal, you still have to be on your game.
Andrew Franks, RPI kicker in studio. See, I look at it differently. I look at it as if they are now making the extra point more difficult, if you got to do it from the 35-yard line, there's more of a chance that, probability speaking, that kickers miss now, right? Because it's more difficult. If kickers miss, as you know, NFL teams all the time think they're disposable and they, bring somebody else in. And I have this theory that more than ever, kickers will be moving all around the team and be more fluid than ever because they have more of an opportunity to miss now. Is that just me being a naysayer?
Maybe. For the most part, if it's easier to miss, that means you have to take more responsibility in every one of your kicks. So each one's more and more important in that regard. I think that if players are easier to move around, but it also makes them more valuable in that regard. If you can make all those PATs, then you're going to stay more solid. If you miss them, then you might be able to move around more. So I think it still stays the same, but it might be a little harder for teams to get rid of some clutch guys.
This dude just has ice in his veins.
Well, see, it's just more
incredible.
Proof that you're a wimp.
Oh, well,
I
don't think we've ever really had a debate on that, though. Like, I've been in the forefront of going, hello, everybody, my name is Wimp. Like, I feel like I've owned that for the most part. RPI kicker Andrew Franks with Armen and Levack in studio on 104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. Two-time Liberty League Special Teams Player of the Year, All-American this past season. Now, Stephen Hauschka, the kicker for the Seahawks, he's a D3 guy turned NFL kicker. And, I remember when I was at Texas Tech, Danny Amendola always used to tell me, man, my path is easier because Wes Welker went out there and set the tone for short white boy wide receivers, and he's made this a little easier for me. Do you kind of have the same feeling with Hauschka that you don't have to be the first guy? Have teams referenced him or said, hey, he's done it. We believe in D3 kickers now. Is it like that?
Yeah, well, there's definitely like a ton of players that have come from D3, but I just think there's only one that's been a kicker, and the fact that Hauschka was able to do it from a D3 standpoint and become extremely successful, and he's still playing now, it just proves that anyone can do it regardless of what division you're at.
Does that motivate you when you see him do that? Does that bring in a little more reality to you?
No, it makes it more real. It's not really a fantasy anymore. It's the fact that he's already done it, so obviously I can do it too, and I don't see why not.
Yeah, worst case scenario, you fall back on being a bio whatever, blah, blah, blah. Come on.
Yeah, no joke. All right, so the teams you have tried out with thus far, they've come up, because all the teams have come up here so far, right?
Yes, sir.
You haven't gone in anywhere yet?
Nope.
Sweet. So everybody that's coming here to see you again, who are those teams?
The Colts have stopped by. Dolphins are stopping by. Bills, Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs came by during the season. I'm forgetting a few. Redskins were also here, and I'm forgetting a couple more here and there.
It's a great problem to have. I can't remember all the NFL teams who have stopped by.
That's good. We'll make sure to let them know you forgot them. No, I'm totally kidding. All right, so as a kicker, do you prefer warm weather climates? than in the Northeast? Because I've seen you at practice before. How long does it take to de-ice the field and shovel the field for you to practice kicks all on your own when the team would be practicing inside?
It gets frustrating in the Northeast. Snow definitely gets in the way a little bit. But after a few seasons of doing that, it's pretty much second nature to me. I mean, warm weather's obviously nicer. You don't have to do any of that, but it's not really a big deal anymore.
Well, plus the next level, somebody does that for you.
Yeah, that's nice too.
RPI kicker Andrew Franks in studio. Okay, this is the most important question. This has been bugging me. I need to get this out. I saw you on your pro day. You had the headphones in, and you even mentioned, I got my music going while I'm kicking. What are you listening to while you're kicking the ball? Because I think, that degree that has so many syllables that he's getting that I can even pronounce, what is it, biomedical engineering?
Yes, sir.
Woo! What's up with it, baby? So, smart guy, you got some like Mozart, Beethoven going there?
Not really my thing. I'm more of a little heavy metal in there. Got to crank it up a little if you're kicking field goals, crushing some kickoffs. So you got to throw in some heavy metal.
What's the band? What's the heavy metal? What do you got?
Right now, I mean, it differs every day. Right now, it's Asking Alexandria a little bit, maybe some Five Finger Death Punch. Woo. Just mix it up a little bit. All That Remains is in there too. So
RPI kicker Andrew Franks in studio hanging out with us today. Dude, appreciate it, man. Thanks for spending the time getting out of class for a little bit later this afternoon. I know you had a class earlier today and coming out here for us and spending some time with us. And best of luck, man. So what are you going to do for the draft and after? Because obviously, do kickers get drafted for the most part, or are you assuming you're going to get signed by somebody in free agency?
It's in the draft, it's super statistically unlikely.
Yeah.
There's maybe one or two each draft, and that's about it. I'm definitely looking for free agency pickups, but even if my name is called in the draft, that'd be even better.
Sure, why not? Because it's secure then. It's guaranteed.
You already signed the contract.
More pressure if you get drafted, or you don't care about pressure? I can look at you right now and
pressure's the same regardless. It's a job interview, so I just want to do my best and prove to people that I belong there.
Well, as a free agent, you have your choice. You think you might want to go back to the left coast?
I really know. Maybe somewhere different. Maybe Midwest. Maybe down south. I'm not really. Doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't.
What matters the most? If you have the choice, what's the biggest factor? Is it the ability to compete and see the field? Is that what you're looking for? Like depth wise, like who's the one kicker I think I can beat, or is the team that has the best situation for me to play? Is that the biggest factor more than location?
I think competitive-wise is probably my biggest factor. I love to compete. I've always been a competitor. I want to win. So I want to beat the best to prove that I'm the best. So I think that if I go and try to beat out the players that are considered the best, then that makes me a better player as a whole.
So going back to Cali for free agency period?
Yeah, maybe. Why not?
Hearing a little bit whenever the semester ends? Or
yeah, family might be happy.
How many more weeks of classes you got?
I have no idea.
I just keep going until they tell me to stop.
I just keep making A's, man. What do you want from me?
You realize, if you end up on a cult, you and Luck are going to be split an atom at halftime. This is going to be ridiculous.
It should be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, there you go. RPI kicker Andrew Franks. Dude, thanks for stopping by. We want to be a part of your journey, man. So you got our numbers. Keep us updated wherever you go. Feel free to remember the little people, man, here in Albany, New York. And look, thanks for everything you've done for the community, for RPI. Like you said, you've helped establish RPI football as a team to reckon with and a program to reckon with, and that's something you can take out of here, whatever happens on the next level. So congratulations to all your successes. Congratulations on graduating here in a few weeks with your degree, and best of luck to you, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.